My name's Sylvie Collard Minyett Hayden. I married Don Collard in the 50s. And we lived in Brookton there, but we came out east here to Condon and Hyden, right around these parts. We've lived for over 60 years around these parts here now. But we went. I want to tell this story because I want my kids and grandkids and great-grandkids I got, you know, they don't know what's out. It might be a bit spiritual to some of them, but I went back to my niece got killed at Mount Kokeby, and my nephew, two of them got killed in a car accident at Mount Kokeby, right at the water, at the crossing of Ridgway's Crossing there, we call it Ridgway's Crossing. Two of them got killed there. And my niece left her baby home, and he was the same age as my baby. There's a couple of weeks difference. Anyway, a few weeks after we went to the funeral, and we stayed over Brookton till it was all finished and that. And we, one Sunday, I think it was a Sunday morning, I couldn't say what, it was Saturday or Sunday morning anyway, we was thinking about coming out here. We was going to come home out here. And we laid, Mum gave us she had an old camp, the reserve, Brookton Reserve, many lived on there. There was houses each side, but we never had a house on there. My mum had a humpy on the end of the reserve. So she said stay there while we was there for the funeral and that. Anyway, this morning, one morning anyway, Don said, I better get up early, we'll think about going home and that. Oh, they're all up here, he said. He was going to walk up to get a smoke. I'll bring you back a smoke. And, well, it was pretty early in the morning, you know. It was, well, nice morning, but it was around 6 o'clock or something, or after 6. After 6 or something. But they had a fire going in the middle. Ken and Vera, rest in peace, was there, and Pam was there, and some others was there. Oh, there's quite a few there. And my brother, he lived, Bonnie and Edie, they lived up near where the toilets are right now. They lived up along there in a caravan. And anyway, these lots sitting around. I was still laying down in the bed, only one bed in this camp of Mum's. And the bag door we had hanging, the bag hanging down. And Don went up, he said, I'll go up and I'll get a smoke and bring back. They're all up there. Some was having coffee, some was having a beer. Anyway, I said, I'll feed baby. I was laying down feeding him, and a wind come. It was a queer wind, like a whirly wind. It got this bag, and it was blowing, and it got, by the time it got to me, it was only the one room like, oh, I started going funny. And it was a spirit, because it was my niece come back. She went to grab my baby, and I jumped up off the bed. I jumped off the bed because I said, you're not taking my baby. And after we were pulling around there, and oh, I'm sorry, Aunt. I said, no, I was really going to fight for my baby. And she turned around and said, no, I'm sorry, Aunt. She said, I'm looking for my baby. And it was just, I couldn't explain this feeling. I couldn't explain the feeling I had. And she said that to me. I'm sorry, Aunt, I'm looking for my baby. And next minute, this wind, it started up again around us there and all, and I was going like if I was going paralysed again, and the old bag door started blowing and all, she went out that door. So went up the reserve way, straight through the reserve. between them, like where these lot were sitting drinking. She must have went that way. Well, she went that way, I think. She did. Anyway, I looked down and I picked my baby up. And that baby's my baby today. That's Arthur. That's Abbo. He called himself the Shadow Man because it's so strange, because he sees things today and he's scared. And I told him not to get scared. I don't like to frighten him. I never ever told him or anyone like, you know. But anyway, I picked him up and I got a bunny rug, little bunny rug, and wrapped around, and I was still like if something took over me. It was some spirit or something in me, so still or something. I couldn't explain it. I picked him up and wrapped him up, and I was walking up towards the centre where they was all sitting around. Some had had a beer and all, and the closer I was getting, my poor old brother-in-law, poor old Ken, he had a smoke in his hand, and he looked around smiling. Hey, sis, he said, you look like if you saw a ghost. Well, this feeling went through me again when he said that. Well, I nearly dropped. I said, no, I'm trying to tell him, you know, and then I started shouting, no. I was just fighting the spirit. I said, I'm just fighting the ghost. Get the babies off. Well, they're laughing and sitting, you know, having a talk. Why, what happened? And all like that. But my mother was standing behind, but she was very quick to sort of catch on to me. She put the things down, and she was a very small lady too, like, and she took off, tiptoed right off. She went up to see where Bonnie is, and then Edie was living up in this caravan. Well, she was up there with them for a while and that, and they sitting down, and Edie said, this baby's not too good, he seems sick.
Who's their baby?
Bonnie and Edie's baby. Young Tommy, he's buried there in Brookton there now. He was a baby, a beautiful baby, fat, healthy, don't know what was wrong with him. Anyway, she said, he's not too good, we better take him to Beverly. They took him down to Beverly. They couldn't find anything wrong with him. They said they were going to getting him ready to send him through to Perth. But he passed away there in Beverly. And they can't make out what happened to him. What it was. They didn't know what happened to him. Anyway, we said, while we were home there, we said, oh, we'll wait till they come back before we come this way. They come back from Beverly anyway. They pulled up at the top, so we're walking up now. See Vera, Ken, and all of them, Pam, and then they rushed up. They're back here, we better see. They walked up to see him. I'm standing back. I could see, you know, then they start crying, and oh, gee, I was walking up slowly, and I got frightened. I had a queer feeling. But the closer I was getting, and poor old Edie, she saw me in the back part. She came out and she rushed towards me. And I was scared. I didn't know what was going to happen. Like, she come and she put her arm around me and she was crying, you know, lost baby's gone. She said, oh, I said, I hope it's nothing to do with what I said. No, sister, she said, no. That girl was, every night, she said, I'd pull the curtain back from every night, she said, she'd be standing at my window waiting to bounce on the baby. Every night for a couple of weeks since she had the funeral, and just after that she was come back looking. She said, every night, she said, I keep telling Bonnie to move, Bonnie, move. She said, and he'd say, nah, there's nothing, burn a light all night. They did burn a light all night, but this happened in the morning time. It was so strange, this happened in the morning time. When unexpected things, you know, happen like that. And she said, no, I'm not blaming you. She said, I know what happened now. She said, because she knew, because she said, every night we should have shifted, she said, because every night she'd be standing near the window there watching their baby all the time. So I just like to tell I wanted to tell that story because it's so true. I tell my kids I got grannies, I got over 300 grannies and great-grannies and great-great-grannies now. And I tell some of them what come to me. I tell them the story because they have to know these things are out there. There's things out there that they don't know, that no one knows too. There's a lot of things that nobody knows out there. But, you know, that's why we have the smoke. That's why we like to smoke things and all. But, well, it's supposed to clear all the spirits and things, fire and smoke and, you know, with the fire, smoke like that, it keeps all the spirits. And I don't know, as far as I know, it's always been for years and years that I could remember that we've always had a fire or a light burning at night or was shifted. But sometimes now the younger ones, I like my lot to know, but I just tell them because there's things out there that they don't realise too.